Captain Jake Murphy sat in his chair on the bridge of the cargo ship New Dawn. The stars outside looked calm and peaceful, but Jake knew better. This part of space was dangerous. The Kepler 442 system belonged to the Vorthan Empire, and they did not like visitors. Jake was a big man with gray hair and kind eyes. He had been flying cargo ships for 20 years. He knew every trick in the book. His crew trusted him, and he never let them down. Today felt different, though. Something was wrong. "Captain, I'm getting a strange signal," said Lisa Park from her seat at the communications station. Lisa was young and smart. She could decode any message in the galaxy. Her fingers moved fast over the controls as she tried to make sense of the signal. "What kind of signal?" Jake asked. He leaned forward in his chair. Strange signals in Vorthan space usually meant trouble. "It's weak, sir. Coming from the debris field ahead." "The frequency is not human," Lisa said. Her face showed worry. "I think it's a distress call." Jake looked at the main screen. The debris field was huge. Pieces of metal and rock floated in space like a graveyard. A few days ago, this had been Thyra Prime, a peaceful alien colony. Now it was nothing but broken ships and dead dreams. "Can you decode it?" Jake asked. Lisa worked for several minutes. The bridge was quiet, except for the soft hum of the ships. Engines. Finally, she looked up. "I got some of it, Captain. It's in broken galactic standard. Someone is asking for help. They say they are trapped and running out of air." Ben Carter, the first officer, stood up from his chair. Ben was Jake's oldest friend. They had served together for 15 years. Ben was careful and always thought about safety first. "Captain, this could be a trap," Ben said. "The Vorthans are known for tricks like this. They might be trying to lure us in." Jake nodded. Ben was right to be careful. The Vorthans were cruel and smart. They had destroyed Thyra Prime just to send a message to other worlds. Any survivors would be killed on sight. "What do the sensors show?" Jake asked. Amy Collins looked up from her engineering station. Amy was the best engineer Jake had ever worked with. She could fix anything and make their old ship run like new. "I'm scanning now, Captain. The debris field is thick. Hard to see through it all." Amy's fingers danced over her controls. She boosted the sensor power and tried different frequencies. After a few minutes, she found something. "There's a small object about 2 kilometers into the field. It's giving off a weak power signature. Looks like an escape pod, but it's damaged." Jake felt his heart beat faster. An escape pod meant survivors. It also meant danger. Vorthan patrol ships could return at any time. If they found the New Dawn here, his crew would be dead within minutes. How? Many life signs? Jake asked. Amy worked the sensors harder. 2, sir. 1 adult and 1 smaller. The readings are weak. Their life support is failing. The bridge fell silent. Everyone knew what this meant. Somewhere in that debris field, too, beings were dying. They had maybe an hour left, perhaps less. Lisa spoke up. "Captain, I decoded more of the message. It's a mother and child. She keeps saying, 'Save my baby,' over and over." Jake felt something twist in his stomach. He thought of his own daughter. Back on Earth. She was grown now, but he remembered when she was small. He would have done anything to protect her. "Sir, we need to leave," Ben said. "The Vorthans could come back. We have a cargo to deliver and a crew to protect." Ben was right. Jake's first duty was to his crew. The New Dawn was not a warship. It was an old cargo hauler with light shields and no weapons. Against Vorthan destroyers, they would not last 5 minutes. But Jake could not stop thinking about the message. A mother begging someone to save her child. The child was probably scared and confused. They did not understand why their world had been destroyed. How long would a rescue take? Jake asked. Sam Rodriguez looked up from the pilot's seat. Sam was young but brave. He could fly anything with engines. Getting through that debris field would be tricky, sir. Lots of sharp metal. One wrong move and we could tear the hull open. But you could do it? Jake asked. Sam smiled. I could. Do it, Captain. Might take an hour to get in and out safely. Jake looked around the bridge. His crew was watching him. They all knew the risks. They also knew Jake had never left anyone behind. It was not in his nature. Amy, can you boost our sensors to watch for Vorthan ships? Jake asked. Already on. It, Captain. I can give us early warning if anyone comes this way. Jake stood up. He walked to the main screen and looked out at the debris field. Somewhere in that mess of broken metal, 2 beings were dying. They had done nothing wrong except live in the wrong place at the wrong time. Lisa, send a message back to them. Tell them help is coming. Sir, Ben said, are you sure about this? Jake turned to face his crew. These people had followed him through dangerous situations before. They trusted his judgment. He hoped he was making the right choice. Ben, I know it's dangerous, but we're human. We don't leave people to die when we can help them. That's what makes us different from the Vorthans. Ben nodded slowly. He did not look happy, but he understood. What are your orders, Captain? Sam, plot a course into the debris field. Take us in slow and careful. Amy, keep those sensors running. I want to know if a Vorthan ship comes within 10 light years of us. Lisa, keep trying to talk to the survivors. Let them know we're coming. The crew jumped into action. The New Dawn changed course and headed toward the debris field. Jake sat back down in his chair and watched the broken remains of Thera Prime grow larger on the screen. He thought about his daughter again. If she were trapped and dying, he would want someone to help her. It did not matter what species they were or where they came from. Life was precious, and every being deserved a chance to live. The New Dawn entered the debris field slowly. Pieces of metal scraped against the hull with soft sounds. Jake watched the sensor displays, looking for any sign of Vorthan ships. So far, they were alone. There, Amy said. I found him. The escape pod is directly ahead, about 500 meters. On the screen, Jake could see a small, damaged pod floating among the wreckage. It was barely holding together. Cracks ran along its hull, and one side was caved in. Life signs? Jake asked. Still there, but very weak. We need to hurry, Captain. Jake looked at his crew. They were all scared, but they were ready to do their jobs. This was why he loved them. When things got tough, humans always came together. All right, people. Let's save some lives. Sam Rodriguez put on his spacesuit in the shuttle bay. His hands shook a little as he checked the seals. This was the most dangerous mission he had ever attempted. The debris field was full of sharp metal that could cut through his suit like paper. You don't have to do this, Captain Murphy said over the com. We can try to pull the pod in with the ship's tractor beam. Sam shook his head. The pod is too damaged, Captain. The tractor beam might break it apart. I need to go in and get them myself. Dr. Kate Wilson was in the medical bay, preparing for the aliens. She had studied what little information they had about Theran biology. It was not much. Thyrans breathed a different mix of gases than humans. Their hearts beat differently. Their blood was blue instead of red. I've never treated an alien before, Kate said to herself. She was a good doctor, but this was new territory. If she made a mistake, the mother and child would die. Kate looked at her medical supplies. Most of her equipment was made for humans. She would have to adapt everything for alien physiology. It would be like performing surgery with the wrong tools. Amy, can you help me modify the atmospheric processors? Kate asked over the com. On my way, Amy replied. The engineer was already running toward the medical bay. She carried a toolbox full of spare parts. In the shuttle bay, Sam climbed into the small rescue craft. It was barely big enough for 3 people. The shuttle had basic life support and a small cutting laser. That was all he had to work with. Remember, you have maybe 20 minutes before that pod loses all power, Captain Murphy said. After that, the people inside will suffocate. Sam started the shuttle's engines. I'll get them out, Captain. I promise. The shuttle bay doors opened, and Sam flew out into space. The debris field looked even more dangerous up close. Twisted. Pieces of Thyran ships floated everywhere. Some were as big as buildings. Others were small, but sharp enough to kill. Sam flew slowly through the wreckage. He had to dodge floating metal and be careful not to hit anything. One mistake would mean death for all of them. I can see the pod, Sam said into his radio. It's in bad shape. There's a big hole in one side. On the new dawn, Captain Murphy watched the shuttle's progress on the main screen. His knuckles were white as he gripped his chair. This was the hardest part of being a captain, sending his crew into danger. Any sign of Vorthan ships? Jake asked. Amy looked at her sensors. All clear so far, Captain. But they could show up any time. In the medical bay, Dr. Wilson and Amy worked together to modify the life support systems. They needed to create the right atmosphere for Thyran lungs. It was like solving a puzzle with missing pieces. Try this mixture, Amy said. She adjusted the gas levels on the atmospheric processor. 40% oxygen, 30% nitrogen, and 30% argon. Kate looked at the readings. That might work, but I won't know for sure until they get here. Sam reached the escape pod and flew around it slowly. The damage was worse than he thought. The pod had been hit by debris. When Thyra Prime was destroyed, metal beams had crushed one side, and the hull was cracked in several places. I can see them through the window, Sam said. A female adult and a small child. They're both unconscious. Sam attached his shuttle to the pod and put on his helmet. He grabbed the cutting laser and a portable life support unit. Time was running. Out. The pod's airlock was jammed shut. Sam had to cut through the metal with his laser. It was slow work, and every second counted. He could hear the pod systems failing around him. Finally, he cut through the door. The inside of the pod was dark and cold. Emergency lights flickered weakly. The air was thin and hard to breathe. Sam found the 2 Thyrans in the back of the pod. The mother was curled around her child, protecting him with her body. Both were unconscious and barely breathing. Thyrans looked similar to humans, but with some differences. Their skin was pale blue, and they had larger eyes. The mother was tall and thin. The child was maybe 8 years old in human terms. I found them, Sam said. They're alive, but in bad shape. Sam tried to lift the mother, but she was trapped under a fallen beam. The metal was too heavy for him to move alone. He would need the cutting laser again. Hurry, Sam, Captain Murphy said. The pod's power is almost gone. Sam worked as fast as he could. The cutting laser was hot and dangerous in the confined space. One wrong move could hurt the aliens or damage the pod's remaining life support. The beam finally broke free. Sam carefully lifted the mother and child. They were lighter than humans, but still difficult to carry in zero gravity. He had to be gentle with their injured bodies. Got them, Sam said, heading back to the shuttle. But as Sam reached the airlock, alarms started blaring. The pod systems were shutting down. The remaining air was venting into space through the cracks in the hull. Sam pushed himself toward his shuttle as fast as he could. The portable life support unit was keeping the aliens alive, but barely. He could see their faces turning blue through his helmet visor. Come on, Sam said to himself. Almost there. He reached the shuttle and carefully placed the mother and child inside. The small craft was crowded with 3 people, but it would have to work. Sam sealed the hatch and started the engines behind him. The escape pod finally broke apart. Pieces of metal scattered in all directions. If Sam had been a few seconds slower, they would all be dead. I'm coming home, Sam said into his radio. I have them both. They're alive. On the new dawn, everyone cheered. Captain Murphy felt relief wash over him. But the mission was not over yet. They still had to save the aliens' lives. Dr. Wilson was ready in the medical bay. She had everything prepared for the strangest patients of her career. Amy had modified the atmospheric systems to create the right air mixture for Thyran physiology. Bring them straight to medical, Kate said. I'll do everything I can. Sam flew back through the debris field as fast as he dared. Every second mattered now. The aliens were still unconscious and getting weaker. Their blue skin was turning pale. How much longer? Captain Murphy asked. 2 minutes, Sam replied. Maybe less. Lisa Park was monitoring the long-range sensors. Captain, I'm picking up something. It might be ships coming this way. Jake felt his stomach drop. Vorthan? I can't tell yet. They're still too far away. But if they are Vorthans, we have maybe an hour before they get here. Jake made a quick decision. Sam, dock as soon as you can. We need to get out of here. Almost there, Captain. The shuttle reached the new dawn and docked in the bay. Sam carried the unconscious aliens to the medical bay as fast as he could. Dr. Wilson was waiting with her modified equipment. Put them on the beds, Kate said. I need to examine them quickly. Kate looked at the mother and child with her medical scanner. Their vital signs were very weak. The child's heart was barely beating. The mother was in slightly better condition, but not by much. They're suffocating, Kate said. Their lungs are designed for a different atmosphere. Amy, start the modified life support. Amy activated the atmospheric processor. The medical bay filled with the gas mixture they had created for Thyran physiology. Kate watched the readings carefully. It's working, she said. Their oxygen levels are improving. But the child suddenly went into cardiac arrest. His heart stopped beating, and his breathing became even more shallow. I'm losing him, Kate said. She grabbed the medical equipment and started working on the small alien. Come on, don't die on me. Kate had to adapt her techniques for alien physiology. She did not know if human medical procedures would work on Thyrans. She was making it up as she went along. His heart is starting again, Kate said after several tense minutes, but he's still critical. The mother started to wake up. Her large eyes opened slowly, and she looked around in confusion. When she saw her child on the medical bed, she tried to sit up. It's okay, Kate said softly. You're safe. We're trying to help your son. The alien mother did not understand English, but she seemed to know Kate was trying to help. She reached out and touched her child's hand with her blue fingers. Captain, Amy said over the com, those ships are definitely Vorthan. 3 destroyers. Coming fast. We need to leave now. Jake looked at the medical bay on his screen. Dr. Wilson was still working on the alien child. The mother was awake, but very weak. Moving them now could kill them both. Kate, how long do you need? Jake asked. I don't know, Captain. The child is barely stable. If we move him too soon, we don't have a choice. The Vorthans will be here soon. Jake made the hardest decision of his career. Sam, get us out of here. Best speed. The new dawns. Engines roared to life. The ship accelerated away from the debris field just as 3 Vorthan destroyers appeared on the sensors. The chase was about to begin. Dr. Kate Wilson had never worked so hard in her life. The alien child on her medical table was dying, and she did not know how to save him. Every few minutes, his heart would stop beating. Each time, Kate had to bring him back to life. His name is Kip, said the alien mother from the next bed. She spoke in broken English, her voice weak but determined. Please, ... Save my Kip. Kate looked at the mother. Her name was Zara, and she was trying to be brave for her son. But Kate could see the fear in her large blue eyes. Zara knew her child might die. I'm doing everything I can, Kate said. She adjusted the atmospheric mixture again. Theran lungs were very different from human lungs. The wrong gas mixture could poison them. Amy Collins rushed into the medical bay with more equipment. I brought the emergency power cells, she said. The medical systems are using too much energy. The ship shook suddenly. Captain Murphy's voice came over the intercom. Hold on, everyone. The Vorthans are firing at us. Kate grabbed the medical bed to keep from falling. The alien child's monitors showed his heart stopping again. Kate worked quickly to restart it while the ship shook around them. Got him, Kate said as the child's heart began beating again. But she was exhausted. This was the 4th time she had brought him back from death. On the bridge, Captain Murphy watched the tactical display. 3 Vorthan destroyers were chasing them through the asteroid belt. The New Dawn was faster, but the enemy ships had better weapons. They're gaining on us, said Sam Rodriguez from the pilot's seat. He was flying the ship through the asteroids as fast as he dared. One wrong move would crash them into a rock. Can we jump to hyperspace? Asked Ben Carter. Amy's voice came over the com from the medical bay. Not yet. The power drain from the medical systems is too high. I need 10 more minutes to balance the load. Captain Murphy felt the weight of command on his shoulders. His crew was risking their lives for 2 aliens they had never met, but it was the right thing to do. Lisa, try to jam their sensors, Jake ordered. Anything to slow them down. Lisa Park worked at her communications station. I'm trying, Captain. But their equipment is too advanced. Another blast rocked the ship. This time, sparks flew from the control panels. The lights flickered, and the ship groaned under the stress dot in the medical bay. Dr. Wilson felt the ship shake again. The power fluctuations were affecting her equipment. The atmospheric processor kept shutting down and restarting. Amy, I need stable power, Kate said. These changes in the air mixture are killing them. I'm trying, Amy replied. She was working on 3 different problems at once. The Vorthan weapons are overloading our systems. Zara, the alien mother, tried to sit up. She was still very weak, but she wanted to help her son. Doctor, she said in her broken English. Kip ... he is special. Very smart. Please do not let him die. Kate looked at the small alien child. He looked so peaceful lying on the medical bed. His blue skin was pale, and his breathing was shallow. Kate had seen too many children die in her career. She was not going to let it happen again. Tell me about Thyran biology, Kate said to Zara. Anything that might help me save him. Zara tried to explain, but her English was limited. She drew pictures in the air with her hands, trying to show Kate how Thyran organs worked. It was frustrating for both of them. Amy came over to help translate. She had studied alien languages and could understand some of what Zara was saying. She says Thyran children have 2 hearts, Amy explained. A primary and a backup. The backup only works if the primary fails. Kate looked at her scanner readings. That explains the strange heart rhythms I've been seeing. His backup heart is trying to take over. Can you help it? Amy asked. Maybe, Kate said. But I need to understand how it works first. The ship shook again, harder this time. The Vorthans were getting closer. Captain Murphy's voice came over the intercom, tense with worry. Medical bay, We need to jump to hyperspace. Can you give US 5 minutes of stable power? Kate looked at her patients. The child was barely alive, and the mother was weak but stable. If they jumped to hyperspace now, the power surge might kill them both. I need more time, Kate said. The child's condition is too critical. We might not have more time, Captain. Murphy replied. On the bridge, the tactical display showed the Vorthen ships closing in. Their weapons were charging for another attack. This one might be the final blow. Captain, said Lisa Park, I'm reading massive energy buildup from the lead Vorthen ship. They're preparing to fire their main guns. Captain Murphy knew what that meant. The main guns on a Vorthen destroyer could cut through their shields like paper. If that beam hit them, the New Dawn would be destroyed instantly. Sam, emergency maneuvers, Jake ordered. Get us behind that large asteroid. Sam pushed the engines to their limit. The New Dawn accelerated toward a massive rock that was floating in the asteroid belt. If they could hide behind it, the asteroid might block the Vorthen weapons. The ships. Engines screamed with effort. In the medical bay, Kate held onto the medical bed as the ship spun and twisted through space. The alien child's monitors showed his vital signs becoming even weaker. His backup heart is failing too, Kate said. I'm losing him. Zara reached out and grabbed Kate's hand. The alien mother's grip was surprisingly strong. Please, she whispered. He is all I have left. Kate looked into Zara's eyes and saw the same desperation she had seen in human mothers. Love was universal, no matter what species you were. Mother's love for her child was the same everywhere in the galaxy. I won't give up, Kate promised. The New Dawn reached the asteroid just as the Vorthen main gun fired. The massive energy beam missed them by only a few hundred meters. The heat from the blast made the ship's hull glow red. That was too close, Captain Murphy said. Amy, how much longer until we can jump? 5 more minutes, Amy replied from the medical bay. I'm rerouting power from non-essential systems. Kate was working frantically on the alien child. His backup heart had stopped completely. She had to get at least one of his hearts working, or he would die within minutes. Amy, I need you to help me, Kate said. I have an idea, but it's dangerous. Amy came over to the medical bed. What do you need? Thyron and human blood might be compatible, Kate said. If I can use my blood as a temporary oxygen carrier, it might keep him alive long enough to restart his heart. That's crazy, Amy said. You don't know if human blood is safe for aliens. It's the only chance he has, Kate replied. She was already preparing the equipment for a blood transfusion. Zara understood what Kate was planning. Dangerous for you, she said in broken English. You could die too. Kate looked at the dying child, then at his mother. Sometimes you have to take risks to save a life. That's what makes us human. Kate inserted the transfusion tube into her own arm. Her red human blood began flowing into the alien child's blue circulatory system. It was the most dangerous medical procedure she had ever attempted. At first, nothing happened. Then the child's skin began to change color. Instead of pale blue, it became a strange purple shade. His breathing became deeper and more regular. It's working, Amy said, watching the monitors. His oxygen levels are improving. Now I need to restart his heart, Kate said. She was feeling dizzy from the blood loss, but she kept working. Hand me the cardiac stimulator. Kate placed the device on the child's chest and activated it. A small electrical charge ran through his body. His backup heart gave a single beat, then stopped. Again, Kate said. She was getting weaker from the blood transfusion, but she would not give up. The second electrical charge was stronger. This time, the child's backup heart began beating steadily. His skin color improved, and his breathing became normal. You did it, Amy said. He's stable. Kate smiled, but she was very weak. The blood transfusion had taken a lot out of her. She sat down heavily in a chair next to the medical bed. Zara was crying tears of joy. She reached over and touched her son's hand. The child's eyes opened slowly, and he looked up at his mother. "Mama?" he said in his alien language. "Yes, my little one," Zara replied. "You are safe now." Captain Murphy's voice came over the intercom. "Medical Bay, we're jumping to hyperspace. In 30 seconds. Are your patients secure?" "We're ready," Kate said. She was tired but happy. Against all odds, she had saved the alien child's life. The New Dawn's hyperdrive activated with a low hum. The ship disappeared from the asteroid belt, leaving the frustrated Vorthan destroyers behind. They were safe, at least for now. Kate looked at her 2 alien patients. The child was awake and talking quietly with his mother. The mother was weak, but recovering. Both of them were alive because a group of humans had risked everything to save them. "Dr. Wilson," said Zara, "thank you. You gave your blood to save my son. I will never forget this kindness." Kate smiled. "That's what we do. We help each other, no matter where we come from." Amy was working on the ship's systems, making sure everything was running smoothly. "Kate, you should rest. You lost a lot of blood." "I'm fine," Kate said, but she was clearly exhausted. "Someone needs to monitor the patients." "I'll watch them," Amy volunteered. "You've done enough for one day." As Kate finally allowed herself to rest, she thought about what they had accomplished. They had saved 2 lives and struck a blow against the Vorthan Empire's cruelty. Most importantly, they had shown that humans would always stand up for those who could not defend themselves. The alien child, Kip, looked over at Kate with his large blue eyes. He said something in his own language that Amy roughly translated as, "Thank you, brave lady." Kate smiled and closed her eyes. It had been the hardest day of her medical career, but also the most rewarding. She had learned that compassion was truly universal, and that sometimes the greatest victories came from the smallest acts of kindness. The New Dawn dropped out of hyperspace near a small moon. Captain Murphy hoped they had lost the Vorthan ships, but he knew better than to feel safe yet. The enemy was smart and had fast ships. They would not give up easily. "Where are we?" asked Ben Carter, looking at the navigation display. "The Sigma Draconis system," replied Sam Rodriguez. "It's mostly empty space, but there are some asteroid fields we can hide in." Captain Murphy nodded. "Good thinking. Lisa, scan for any Vorthan ships." Amy pushed the engine beyond its safety limits. The New Dawn shot forward like a rocket, but alarms started blaring all over the ship. The engine was overheating and could fail at any moment. "Hull temperature rising," Amy reported. "We have maybe 2 minutes before the engine shuts down automatically." The Vorthan main gun fired just as the New Dawn reached the edge of the nebula. The massive energy beam barely missed them, close enough that the heat melted part of their rear armor. "We're in the nebula," Sam announced. "The radiation is already interfering with our sensors." Behind them, the Vorthan ships slowed down. They did not want to risk their expensive warships in the dangerous nebula, but they did not retreat either. They formed a line at the nebula's edge, waiting for the humans to come out. "They're blocking our escape route," Ben observed. "We're trapped." In the medical bay, the radiation from the nebula was affecting the life support systems. Dr. Wilson had to constantly adjust the atmospheric mixture for her alien patients. "The radiation is making them sick," Kate reported to the bridge, "especially the child. His immune system is weaker than his mother's." Kip was lying on the medical bed, looking pale and weak again. The nebula's radiation was like poison to Thyran physiology. His mother, Zara, was feeling sick too, but she tried to hide it to avoid worrying her son. "How long can they survive in here?" Captain Murphy asked. "Maybe an hour," Kate replied. "After that, the radiation will start causing permanent damage." Captain Murphy felt the weight of responsibility crushing down on him. His crew was trapped in a deadly nebula with failing engines. His alien passengers were slowly dying from radiation poisoning, and 3 Vorthan warships were waiting outside to destroy them. "Amy, how long to repair the engines?" he asked. "At least 2 hours," Amy replied. "And that's if everything goes perfectly." They did not have 2 hours. They barely had one. Lisa Park was monitoring Vorthan communications from her station. "Captain, I'm picking up their transmissions. They're calling for reinforcements. More ships are coming." Things were getting worse by the minute. Soon, there would be 6 or more Vorthan ships waiting for them. Even if they repaired their engine, they would never fight their way through. That many enemies. "There has to be another way out," Captain Murphy said, studying the star charts. Ben Carter was looking at the same charts. "There's an old mining station on the far side of the nebula. If we could reach it, we might be able to call for help." "How far?" Jake asked. 12 light minutes. But the radiation gets worse as we go deeper into the nebula. Jake looked at the tactical display. It was a desperate plan, but it might be their only chance. "Sam, can you plot a course to that mining station?" "I can try, Captain. But flying to this nebula is like flying blind. Our sensors barely work." In the medical bay, young Kip was getting sicker. His breathing was becoming shallow, and his skin was turning pale again. Kate was doing everything she could, but the radiation was too strong. "Mama," Kip said weakly, "I don't feel good." Zara held her son's hand and sang to him in their alien language. It was a lullaby she had sung when he was younger, before their world was destroyed. Tears ran down her blue cheeks as she watched her child suffer. "Doctor," Zara said to Kate, "if my son dies, will you make sure the Vorthan information reaches the Galactic Council? Other children should not suffer like this." Kate felt her heart break. "He's not going to die. I won't let him." But Kate was not sure she could keep that promise. The radiation was affecting all of them. Even the human crew was starting to feel sick. Amy came to the medical bay to check on the life support systems. "How are they doing?" she asked quietly. "Not good," Kate admitted. "The boy is the worst. His body can't handle the radiation." Amy looked at the small alien child. He reminded her of her own nephew back on Earth. "There has to be something we can do." "I've tried everything," Kate said. "Unless we can get them out of this nebula soon. Amy had an idea. It was risky, but it might work. "What if we could create a radiation shield around the medical bay? I could reroute power from other systems." "That might help," Kate said. "But we need that power for the engines. Let me talk to the captain." Amy went to the bridge and explained her idea. Captain Murphy listened carefully, weighing the options. "If we take power from the engines, we'll be stuck here longer," Ben pointed out. "But if we don't protect the aliens, they'll die anyway," Amy replied. Captain Murphy made his decision. Do it. Protect the medical bay. Amy rushed back to engineering and began rerouting power systems. The ship's engines slowed down, but the radiation shield around the medical bay began working. "It's helping," Kate reported. "Their condition is stabilizing." Sam was flying the ship deeper into the nebula, using minimal power to avoid detection. The radiation was getting stronger, but the aliens were protected now. "Mining station coming." "Up," Sam announced, "but it looks abandoned." On the main screen, they could see the old mining station floating in the nebula. It was dark and silent, with no signs of life. "Take us in," Captain Murphy ordered. "Maybe we can use their communication equipment." As they approached the station, Lisa detected a weak signal. "Captain, there's someone on that station. The signal is very faint. Vorthens?" Jake asked. "No, sir. It's human. Sounds like a distress call." Captain Murphy was surprised. What was a human doing in this dangerous nebula? "Can you make contact?" Lisa worked her controls. "Hello. Mining station. This is the cargo ship New Dawn. Do you copy?" After a moment, a weak voice came through the speakers. "New Dawn, this is Prospector Jim Blake. Thank God someone found us. We've been stranded here for 3 weeks. How many survivors?" Captain Murphy asked. "Just me and my partner, Sarah. Our ship broke down, and we've been living on emergency supplies." Captain Murphy felt a moment of hope. If there were other humans here, maybe they could help each other. "Jim, we have a situation. We're being chased by Vorthen warships, and we have injured aliens who need medical attention. Can your station support more people?" "Barely," Jim replied. "But we'll make room. We humans have to stick together." Sam docked the New Dawn with the mining station. It was a small, cramped facility, but it would give them time to make repairs and plan their next move. Captain Murphy, Dr. Wilson, and Amy went aboard the station to meet Jim Blake and his partner Sarah. They were both miners who had been prospecting in the nebula when their ship's engine failed. "We've been trying to fix our ship," Jim explained, "but we don't have the right parts." "Maybe we can help each other," Captain Murphy said. "We need a safe place to hide while we repair our engines." Dr. Wilson brought Kip and Zara to the station's small medical facility. It was basic, but better than trying to treat them on the ship with failing life support. "What happened to them?" Sarah asked, looking at the blue-skinned aliens. "The Vorthens destroyed their world," Kate explained. "We rescued them, but now the Vorthens are hunting us." Sarah's face grew angry. "Those monsters. We heard about what they did to Thyra Prime. Innocent people, murdered for no reason." Jim nodded. "If there's anything we can do to help, just ask." Young Kip was feeling better in the station's cleaner atmosphere. He was curious about the human miners and asked them questions in his broken English. "What do you dig for?" Kip asked. "Jim, rare crystals," Jim explained. "They're used in spaceship engines." Amy's eyes lit up. "What kind of crystals?" "Dilithium crystals mostly." "Why?" Amy smiled for the first time in hours. "Those crystals could supercharge our engines. We might be able to outrun the Vorthens after all." Captain Murphy felt hope returning. Maybe they had found their way out of this trap. With the miners' help and the crystal technology, they might be able to escape the nebula and complete their mission. But first, they had to survive long enough to make the repairs. And outside the nebula, more Vorthen ships were arriving every hour. "How are our systems?" Lisa worked at her communication station. "Long-range sensors are clear, Captain. But if the Vorthens followed our hyperspace trail, they could be here soon." Amy's voice came from the engineering section. "We have damage to the shield generators and the main engine. I can fix them, but I need time." In the medical bay, Dr. Kate Wilson was checking on her patients. The alien child, Kip, was much better. His color had returned to normal blue, and he was sitting up in bed. His mother, Zara, was recovering slowly but steadily. "How do you feel?" Kate asked Kip in simple words. The boy was learning English quickly, like most children. "Better," Kip said with a small smile. "Thank you for saving me." Kate smiled back. "You're very welcome. You're a brave boy." Zara was trying to stand up from her bed. She was still weak, but determined to move around. "Doctor, I must tell you something important." "What is it?" Kate asked, helping Zara sit up properly. "The Vorthens," Zara said, her English getting better as she practiced. "They did not just destroy my world for territory. There is something else." something they do not want anyone to know. Kate listened carefully. What kind of something? Documents, Zara said. Secret files about Vorthan plans. I was a diplomat before the attack. I have information that could help other worlds prepare for Vorthan invasion. This was news that Captain Murphy needed to hear. Kate activated the intercom. Captain, could you come to the medical bay? Zara has something important to tell you. Captain Murphy arrived quickly, followed by Ben Carter and Lisa Park. They all gathered around Zara's bed to listen. The Vorthans are planning to attack 5 more worlds, Zara explained. Peaceful colonies like mine. They want to expand their empire quickly before other species can form alliances against them. Which worlds? Captain Murphy asked. Zara told them the names of the colonies. They were all small, defenseless settlements with no military protection. Millions of innocent beings would die if the Vorthans attacked. We have to warn them, said Lisa Park. The Vorthans know I escaped, Zara continued. That is why they are chasing us so hard. If I can reach the Galactic Council, I can present evidence of their war crimes. Captain Murphy understood now. This was bigger than just rescuing 2 refugees. They were carrying information that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. Where is this evidence? He asked. Zara pointed to a small device hidden in her clothing. All the documents are here. Vorthan invasion plans, target lists, even records of other worlds they have destroyed. Ben Carter looked worried. Captain, if the Vorthans know she has that information, they'll never stop hunting us. This puts our entire crew at risk. Captain Murphy knew Ben was right. They had signed up to rescue 2 dying aliens, not to become the most wanted ship in Vorthan space. But they had already come this far. We knew this was dangerous when we started. Jake said, we can't abandon them now. Amy's voice came over the intercom. Captain, I have bad news. 3 Vorthan ships just dropped out of hyperspace. They found us. Everyone rushed to the bridge. The tactical display showed 3 Vorthan destroyers approaching fast. They were the same ships from before, and they looked angry. How did they find us so quickly? Asked Sam. Lisa checked her sensors. They must have been tracking our hyperspace signature. These are military ships with advanced equipment. Captain Murphy looked at the tactical situation. The New Dawn was faster than the Vorthan ships, but not by much. And this time, there were no asteroids to hide behind. Sam, get us out of here. Best possible speed. Where to, Captain? Jake thought quickly. They needed somewhere safe to hide while Amy repaired their ship, somewhere the Vorthans could not follow. The Helix Nebula, Jake said. The radiation there will interfere with their sensors. Sam looked worried. Captain, that nebula is dangerous. The radiation could damage our systems too. It's a risk we have to take, Jake replied. If we stay in open space, they'll destroy us for sure. The New Dawn changed course toward the nebula. It was a beautiful cloud of gas and dust, but deadly to ships that stayed too long. The radiation would slowly cook their electronics and poison. The crew, the Vorthan ships followed, firing their weapons as they chased. Energy beams flashed past the New Dawn's hull, missing by only a few meters. They're gaining on us, Sam said. The lead ship is charging its main gun. Captain Murphy knew they would not reach the nebula in time. The Vorthan main gun would destroy them before they could escape. Amy, I need more power to the engines, Jake ordered. I'm giving you everything I have, Amy replied, but the engine is already damaged. If I push it harder, it might explode. Jake had to make another impossible choice. Risk the engine exploding or let the Vorthans destroy them with their main gun. Do it, he said. Amy Jim Blake led Amy Collins to the mining station's storage area. The room was filled with containers of rare crystals that gleamed like jewels. Under the station's lights, Amy had never seen so many dilithium crystals in one place. "Take what you need," Jim said. "We've been stuck here for weeks. These crystals are worthless if we can't get them to market." Amy selected the best crystals and carried them back to the New Dawn. If she could install them correctly, their engines would be twice as powerful as before. It might be enough to outrun the Vorthan ships. "How long will the installation take?" Captain Murphy asked. 6 hours, Amy replied. "Maybe less if I skip the safety checks." "Do we have 6 hours?" Lisa Park was monitoring Vorthan communications. From the bridge, "The Vorthans are getting impatient, Captain. They're sending probe ships into the nebula to look for us." Captain Murphy knew they were running out of time. Soon, the Vorthans would find the mining station. When they did, everyone would die dot in the station's medical facility. Dr. Kate Wilson was amazed by her patient's recovery. Away from the ship's damaged life support, both Kip and his mother Zara were feeling much better. "The clean air is helping them," Kate told Sarah, the female miner. "But they're still weak from everything they've been through." Kip was playing with some mining tools, fascinated by human technology. He was a smart child and learned quickly. In just a few hours, he had picked up dozens of new English words. "Dr. Kate," Kip said, "when will we be safe?" Kate smiled at the boy. "Soon, I hope. Captain Murphy is a good man. He'll find a way." Zara was working with Lisa Park, helping to decode more Vorthan transmissions. Her knowledge of their language was proving very useful. "They are very angry," Zara translated. "The Vorthan commander says we have embarrassed the Empire. He wants to capture us alive so they can make an example of us." "What kind of example?" Lisa asked. "Public execution," Zara said quietly. "They want other species to see what happens when you help enemies of the Empire." Lisa felt sick. The Vorthans were not just evil, they were cruel. They wanted to hurt innocent people just to send a message. Captain Murphy was helping Amy install the dilithium crystals. It was delicate work that required steady hands and perfect timing. One mistake could cause the entire engine to explode. "These crystals are incredible," Amy said as she worked. "They're going to make our engines sing." "Will it be enough to get us past 6 Vorthan destroyers?" Jake asked. "Maybe," Amy replied, "but we'll need a good plan, too." Ben Carter was studying star charts with Jim Blake, looking for escape routes. The mining station's computer had detailed maps of the nebula and the surrounding space. "There's a neutron star about 2 light years from here," Ben said. "Its gravity well might hide us from Vorthan sensors." "That's dangerous," Jim warned. "Neutron stars have massive gravitational fields. Get too close and you'll be crushed." "It's still safer than fighting 6 warships," Ben replied. While the adults worked on escape plans, young Kip had made friends with Sarah. She was teaching him about crystal mining, and he was telling her about life on Thera Prime before the attack. "We had beautiful gardens," Kip said in his improving English. "My father grew flowers that sang in the wind." "That sounds wonderful," Sarah said. "Maybe someday you can grow flowers again." "The Vorthans killed my father," Kip said sadly. "They killed everyone except me and Mama." Sarah felt tears in her eyes. This innocent child had lost everything, but he was still brave and curious about the world. It made her angry at the Vorthans and proud of the humans who had risked their lives to save him. Amy finished installing the last dilithium crystal just as Lisa detected incoming ships on the sensors. "Captain, we have company," Lisa announced. 2 Vorthan probe ships are heading this way." "How long until they find us?" Captain Murphy asked. 20 minutes, maybe less." Amy powered up the new engine system. The dilithium crystals glowed with bright blue light, and the engine hummed with power. "It's working," she said. "We have 3 times our normal engine capacity." "Good," Captain Murphy said. because we're about to need it. Everyone hurried back to the New Dawn. Jim, Blake, and Sarah decided to come with them rather than face the Vorthons alone. Their small mining ship was broken anyway, and they had nowhere else to go. "Welcome aboard," Captain Murphy said, as the miners carried their essential supplies onto the cargo ship. "I hope you don't regret this decision." "We won't," Jim replied. "Like I said before, humans stick together." Dr. Wilson helped move Kip and Zara back to the ship's medical bay. Both aliens were strong enough to walk now, which was a good sign. The boy was excited about the new engine crystals and asked Amy dozens of questions about how they worked. "You're going to be an engineer someday," Amy told him with a smile. "Sam." Rodriguez prepared the ship for departure. The new engines felt different, more responsive and powerful. He could hardly wait to see what they could do. "All stations ready, Captain," Sam reported. "Take us out," Captain Murphy ordered. Slowly. At first, let's not attract attention. The New Dawn undocked from the mining station and began moving through the nebula. Behind them, the Vorthon probe ships were getting closer. On the sensors, they looked like hungry predators stalking their prey. "There they are," Lisa announced. 2 probe ships closing fast. The Vorthon ships had found the abandoned mining station. They were scanning it for signs of the escaped refugees. It would not take them long to realize their targets had been there recently. "They're following our engine trail," Ben observed. "The dilithium crystals are giving off a unique energy signature." "Can we mask it?" Captain Murphy asked. "Not without shutting down the engines," Amy replied. "And we need them to escape." The probe ships were faster than expected. They were catching up despite the New Dawn's improved engines. Soon, they would be close enough to attack. "Captain," said Lisa, "I'm receiving a transmission from the lead probe ship. They're demanding that we surrender." "Tell them we're just a mining vessel," Jake replied. "We don't know anything about escaped aliens." Lisa tried to fool the Vorthons, but they were not convinced. They had sensors that could detect alien life forms, and they knew Thyrans were aboard the New Dawn. "They're not buying it," Lisa reported. "They're charging weapons." "Then we run," Captain Murphy said. "Sam, give me everything those engines have got." Sam activated the dilithium crystal engines at full power. The New Dawn shot forward like a comet, leaving the Vorthon probe ships far behind. The speed was incredible, faster than anything the crew had ever experienced. "Amazing," Sam said, grinning with excitement. "We're doing twice the speed of light." But their victory was short-lived. Ahead of them, 6 Vorthon destroyers were waiting. At the edge of the nebula, the enemy had anticipated their escape route. "It's a trap," Ben said. "They've been herding us toward those destroyers." Captain Murphy studied the tactical display. 6 warships against 1 cargo vessel, even with supercharged engines. The odds were terrible. "Amy, can we jump to hyperspace?" he asked. "Not yet," Amy replied. "The nebula's radiation is interfering with the hyperspace drive. We need to get clear of it first. And to get clear, we have to go through those destroyers." Ben added. Zara came to the bridge, carrying the data device with the Vorthon intelligence. "Captain Murphy," she said, "if we cannot escape, you must destroy this information. Do not let the Vorthons recapture it." "We're not giving up yet," Jake replied. "Sam, can you thread the needle between those ships?" Sam looked at the tactical display. The Vorthon destroyers were spread out in a line, but there were gaps between them. With the ship's new speed, they might be able to slip through before the enemy could react. "It's going to be close," Sam said, "but I think I can do it." "Do it," Captain Murphy ordered. The New Dawn accelerated toward the line of enemy ships. The Vorthons were expecting them to try this, and they began firing as soon as the cargo ship came into range. Energy beams flashed past the New Dawn's hull. Sam flew the ship like a fighter pilot, dodging and weaving between the deadly weapons' fire. The dilithium crystals gave them the speed they needed, but it was still incredibly dangerous. "Hull breach on Deck 3, Amy reported. "But the damage is minor." They were halfway through the enemy line when disaster struck. A Vorthan energy beam hit their port engine, causing a massive explosion. The ship spun out of control, tumbling through space. "Engine 2 is gone," Amy announced. "We're losing power." Sam fought to regain control of the ship. With only one engine working, they were sitting ducks for the Vorthan weapons. Then something unexpected happened. The destroyed engine's dilithium crystals began to overload. Instead of exploding, they created a massive energy pulse that disrupted the Vorthan ship's sensors and weapons. "Their weapons are offline," Lisa reported. "The energy pulse blinded them." "This is our chance," Captain Murphy said. "Sam, get us out of here." With the remaining engine and Sam's skillful flying, the New Dawn limped away from the confused Vorthan ships. They reached the edge of the nebula just as their hyperspace drive came back online. "Hyperspace in 3.2.1. Jump," Sam announced. The New Dawn disappeared into hyperspace, leaving the angry Vorthans behind. They had escaped, but barely. "Where are we going?" Ben asked. "Haven Station," Captain Murphy replied. "It's a neutral trading post. The Vorthans can't touch us there." 3 days later, the New Dawn docked at Haven Station. It was a massive space station that served as home to refugees and traders from across the galaxy. Here, species that had been enemies could meet in peace. Dr. Wilson took Kip and Zara to the station's medical center for a complete checkup. Both aliens were healthy and strong. The ordeal was finally over. "What will happen to us now?" Zara asked. "You'll be safe here," Kate assured her. "Haven Station protects refugees. You can start a new life." Young Kip was fascinated by all the different alien species on the station. He had never seen so many different kinds of beings living together peacefully. "Look, Mama," he said, pointing at a group of crystalline aliens. "They look like Amy's engine crystals." Zara smiled. Her son was already adapting to his new life. Children were resilient that way. Captain Murphy met with the station's council to discuss Zara's intelligence about Vorthan war plans. The information she carried was incredibly valuable. "This data could save millions of lives," said Council Leader Martinez. "We'll make sure it reaches the Galactic Alliance." "What about the Vorthans?" Jake asked. "Will they try to attack this station?" "They might," Martinez replied. "But Haven Station has powerful defenses and many allies. We're not easy targets. Like the colonies they usually attack." Dr. Wilson's medical techniques for treating thyron physiology became famous throughout the galaxy. She shared her knowledge freely with other doctors, helping to save countless alien lives. "Why don't you charge money for your discoveries?" asked a Ferengi trader. "Because healing is not about profit," Kate replied. "It's about helping others." Amy Collins became known as the engineer who turned mining crystals into super engines. Ship designers from across the galaxy came to study her work. "You could be rich," Jim Blake told her. "Patent this technology and sell it." "I'd rather share it," Amy said. "The more ships that can outrun the Vorthans, the safer everyone will be." 6 months later, Zara's testimony before the Galactic Council led to a coalition of 20 species united against Vorthan expansion. The Empire's plans were exposed, and their victims finally had a voice. Young Kip started school on Haven Station, learning alongside children from dozens of different worlds. He was studying to become an engineer, inspired by Amy's work with the dilithium crystals. "Someday, I want to build ships that can save people like you saved me," Kip told Captain Murphy during one of their visits. Jake smiled. "I'm sure you will, son. You've got the heart for it." The crew of the New Dawn continued their cargo runs, but they were different now. Word had spread about the humans who risked everything to save strangers. Other species began to trust humanity in ways they never had before. "We get the best contracts now," Ben Carter observed. "Everyone wants to hire the crew that stood up to the Vorthans." "It's not about the money," Captain Murphy replied. "It's about doing what's right." Dr. Wilson established a medical exchange program between Haven Station and human colonies. Alien doctors came to learn human techniques, while human doctors studied alien medicine. Both sides benefited from the knowledge sharing. Amy's engine modifications became standard equipment on refugee ships throughout the galaxy. Her innovations helped thousands of beings escape from war zones and oppressive governments. Jim Blake and Sarah found work as mining consultants on Haven Station. They used their knowledge to help refugees find valuable crystals that could be traded for supplies and ship repairs. "Best decision we ever made," Sarah said. "Helping those folks changed our lives for the better." 1 year after the rescue, Captain Murphy received a message from Earth. His daughter had joined Starfleet Academy, inspired by her father's heroic actions. She wanted to follow in his footsteps and help protect innocent beings across the galaxy. "I'm proud of you, Dad," her message said. "You showed me what it means to be human." Zara became a liaison between the Thyran survivors and the Galactic Council. Her work helped establish new protections for refugee populations and war crime. Tribunals for species like the Vorthans. "You gave us more than our lives," she told Captain Murphy during a ceremony honoring the New Dawn's crew. "You gave us hope." Young Kip grew up to become a brilliant engineer, just as he had promised. His first design was a new type of rescue ship, fast enough to outrun any pursuer, and equipped with medical facilities for treating multiple alien species. He named the ship class New Dawn in honor of the humans who had saved his life. The story of the New Dawn spread throughout the galaxy, becoming a legend among spacefaring peoples. It was told in dozens of languages and countless variations, but the message was always the same. Humans were the species that would risk everything to help others. When faced with a choice between safety and compassion, they chose compassion. Every time. That was what made them special in a galaxy full of wonders. Captain Murphy's final log entry, years later, reflected on how a simple act of kindness had changed so many lives. "We set out to deliver cargo and ended up delivering hope." He wrote, "Sometimes the most important journeys are the ones we never planned to take." Today, the galaxy is a little bit safer because we chose to help 2 strangers in need. That's what humans do. That's who we are. The New Dawn continued to sail among the stars, carrying cargo and spreading the message that compassion was the greatest force in the universe. And somewhere on Haven Station, a blue-skinned engineer worked late into the night, designing ships that would carry that message to the farthest corners of the galaxy.